We have a health expert, Rajiv, who will share his knowledge about the harmful effects of eating outside and how we can manage with it. Over to you, Rajiv.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Sonika. Congratulations, Suja, once again for this awesome transformation and for the awesome message that you left with all of us. Responsibilities is not just providing the family and cooking food, but also taking care of yourself. Okay, so I have about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's talk about something very, very critical. I think this is a topic which is neglected big time in today's society. And if we don't take care of it now, it could become a problem later. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the hidden costs of eating outside. See, being in an urban population, I think most of us on this call are from urban cities. We have this hidden enemy, right? Eating outside. And if you look at how life has evolved in the last 20 years, the availability of food has become so easy. At every nook and corner, you find anything and everything to eat. Now, the problem with this ease and convenience is the how easily the sugar is available to us. So we're going to talk about how it impacts not just our health, but other areas of life as well. So we're going to talk about few areas which I feel are very critical from a wellness point of view, especially when we're eating out, and how we can balance them out. So first thing I'd like to talk about is the physical health, right? When we are on a program, when we are eating with a certain mindset, right? It's good to have numbers. It's good to be calculative. Problem is when you eat outside, we don't know what that number is usually. And nobody is obliged to tell us that number, quite frankly, because the rules and regulations are not there yet, right? I've been to some foreign countries where on the packet they write protein so much, carbohydrate so much, fat so much. How would that be if that kind of a innovation and change comes at a India level? But right now it's not there. So we don't know the numbers. Number two, to make a food tasty, uh, the manufacturers manipulate the food with many things like salt, sugar, oil, and it's a funny thing. I think Rohan is on this call. He and I were discussing, one of our friends, I mean, his friend's business model, where she got into the industry with the hope to create healthy snacks, right? And uh, first quarter she lost business, second quarter she lost business, but by the fourth quarter or something, I'm not exactly sure about the details, but her business started going up. Can you tell me why? What is the difference? Unfortunately, she started adding sugar and salt to her products, right? Because without that, it, it's not palatable. It's not, attractive. That's what many people are doing outside, right? The monosodium glutamate, MSG, the baking soda that touches your tongue, right? It basically inflates your taste receptors on your tongue. Therefore, when you go for a restaurant which has baking soda in its food, within few bites you will get to know. You feel bloated. It'll be tasty food, but in a small quantity you will get full, right? And last but not the least, the oil. Look, the oil is supposed to give us benefits, right? Omega 3, omega 6 oils. Uh, this is a oil, right? Fish oil, omega 3 fish oil. Unfortunately, under the pressure of heat, this oil's composition changes. The oil loses its goodness, and then it becomes a cancer, almost harmful for you, right? So I feel these are how the physical health gets affected when we don't eat mindfully, especially when we're eating outside food. Stomach health, like I mentioned, the oils cause digestive discomfort and acid reflux, khata dakar, right? Bloating, uh, stomach upset, right? And you come back. I mean, recently one couple told me, I've been puking so much. I said, now what happened? Then we realized they have eaten in a restaurant, in a good restaurant, but we don't know what the oils are doing to you. Mental health. See, we don't like to talk about it, but in a city like Bangalore, average meal. costs around 500 to 600 rupees per person, right? I'm just talking about a burger and a Coca-Cola and, maybe some French fries or potato wedges outside, right? Now, if I had to budget it, if I had to create an Excel sheet, right, I did that for myself 3 4 months ago. I just went to my Swiggy, I opened my order history, and I added up. It was a shameful number, unfortunately, right? Here we are, we don't have money. We don't. I mean, sometimes we feel like that, right? But to buy a gym membership or to buy a invest in a micronutrient or in a program, पैसे नहीं है यार कहाँ से लाऊंगा but if you do this budget you'll realize oh my god I'm putting money out of my pocket just to destroy myself, right? um, Mental health, right? The Suja was talking about how being in the right physique has elevated her uh, you know career as a dancer. Why don't we talk about the negative part of life? Life is part negative. How about the times you look in the mirror and sometimes you don't like what you see and it starts playing with you mentally? And the problem is we are creating our own problems because we don't know, we're not aware of these issues. So that's how, and last but not the least, a certain dependency on food, right? Especially in times of stress, when heart is broken and it's winter time in the middle of the night, you open the fridge and all you can see is ice creams and Coca-Colas and candies. I mean, it's playing a big time on people's mental well-being. Of course, we spoke about finances, so we'll not talk much about it. Cravings. The more, somehow it's a vicious cycle. The more we eat out, the more we want to eat out. How many of you agree with me? Right? चलो बाहर का order कर लेते हैं. Right? In India, it's a common thing, right? We just need on bahana, order कर लेते हैं. Right? Because it's not, it's obviously the convenience, but it's also the craving that comes. And before you know it, it's a pattern. You're waking up in the middle of the night and you're looking for something sweet. I believe there are two types of cravings.
तुम्हारे डायरेक्ट करो करके ज्वाइन करा बोले था मीटिंग स्टार्ट हो गई बोलो ना
Can someone, Sonika, can you help me wait? Okay, thank you. Right, I believe there are two categories of cravings. First is people who wake up early, around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Typically, their craving starts at around 4:30, 5 o'clock, right? And at that time, they are looking for something like chaats or samosa or something chatpata, right? Pani puri, something like that. And people who wake up a little late, around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, their cravings usually kick in at night, around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m., at 12 in the night. And it's mostly sugar, right? It's mostly ice cream and cake. I mean, this I'm speaking from personal experience, by the way, right? Because it becomes a habit. And before you know it, it's too hard to come out of that habit. So eating out. Okay, I don't want to talk too much about it from a theory point of view. Why don't we all do a case study? Next 5 minutes, just be with me. Maybe you can be interactive on the chat box. I've taken a generic person, John. John is having declining physical health due to his weight gain and poor nutrition from eating out. Obviously, he's financially strained because he's spending so much on food and drinks and this. And increased stress and guilt about his eating habits are impacting his overall well-being. How many of you know a John like that in your life right now? How many of us are John sitting on our chairs right now? Okay. So I'd like for us to take the next 1 or 2 minutes and type out a solution on the chat box, right? It could be anything. It could be as simple as John should plan better, or John should budget his expenditure outside, or John should register for TransformU's wellness pro. Whatever solution you get, why don't you type it out in the chat box? Let us see. Let's go back and forth and find a solution for this problem together. Budgeting well at the start of the month. Yeah, correct. Start working out, of course. Yes, Ishan. Only two solutions. We are 30 people. Get better with eating. Okay, good. Now people are talking. Eating healthy and exercise. Aninda says guidance is needed to customize the routine and budgets. Guidance, yes. John should start home cooked meals and concentrate on well balanced meal plate. Okay, good. Right. Almost all of you have good, right answers. If I was John, I would do this. I would start meal prepping, right? Preparing my meals at home, and so that I have control over what is going inside the plate, right? I will eat out, obviously, but I'll budget it and I'll look at those options which not only are finance friendly, but also health friendly. We have great coaches in our community. You just tell them that, hey, I'm going to this restaurant. What can I eat? Can you help me make a better choice? And they will tick it for you. That is the kind of personal attention that we'd like to give to our people. And by addressing his habits and seeking support, John is able to improve his health and finances. Right? It's about doing it day in, day out. Last but not the least, eating out has effects on all these areas that we spoke about. It's just about a little bit planning. So there's an acronym, right? PPPPP. Can anybody guess what it is? Proper planning prevents poor performance, right? So you plan in any area of your life, you can hit your goals. And obviously, last but not the least, it's about finding the balance because you keep eating at home, you get bored. You keep eating out and you get unhealthy, right? So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you. And back to Sonika.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. That was a big, an eye opener for many of us. Nowadays, Swiggy and Zomato has become a part and parcel of every mobile that we carry. And, now, I mean, it's not that totally you need to avoid eating outside, but you are more conscious of the labels that whenever you're buying a product, maybe you're very conscious of the label and also what are the ingredients that are going in. Thank you so much, Rajiv. And we come to the end of this week's open house. And before we leave this meeting, I would request each and everybody to put in your comments of how you could get some kind of value add today in this meeting. And we end with this fabulous video which we would play. And thank you, everyone.